Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Myself Suresh and you are watching Textile Advisor. Guys, today we will discuss about Siro spinning process या Siro spinning system. Guys, in today's video I will discuss about the objective of Siro spinning system, the concept of Siro spinning system, advantages, disadvantages of Siro spinning system, and the mechanism of a Siro spinning system. Guys, before starting the video, I request you to subscribe my YouTube channel and press bell icon button as well to receive the notification of my new upcoming videos. Guys, I also request you to financially help my channel. If you contribute a very small amount, it will be huge appreciation for my hard work. Guys, let's start discussion. As I told you, the topic of discussion is Siro spinning system, objectives of Siro spinning system, the mechanism or the structure of Siro spinning system, advantages or disadvantages of Siro spun yarn. Guys, first of all, I tell you what is Siro spinning system. Guys, as you know, the single spun yarn cannot be used directly in knitting or weaving because the twist of single spun yarn is not permanent. Permanent means when the yarn gets used in weaving, the yarn makes up and down movement. At that time, the adjacent threads rubs to each other and the yarn rolls in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Due to this rolling action during weaving, the twist of the yarn gets untwist and the yarn breakage happens there. Guys, the yarn produced in the Siro spinning has two-fold with virtual twist. Siro spinning system produces two-fold twisted yarn on our ring frame machine. Siro spinning system is a device in which some changes are made on our existing ring frame machine and two rovings are fed there. When those rovings are drafted and comes out at front roller, both yarns are twisted when the yarn comes out of the front roller, and a double ply or double folded twisted yarn produced on the Siro spinning system. Guys, as I told you that double fold yarn produces on the Siro spinning system or mechanism, so that the necessity or requirement of the extra doubling and twisting is not required or the necessity is finished. It means the yarn received directly from ring frame at which Siro spinning mechanism has been mounted can be used directly in the knitting process, and the yarn breakage problem gets resolved in knitting process. But Siro spun yarn cannot directly be used in the weaving process because the Siro spun yarn has very high irregularities, and the fiber trapping in the double folded Siro spun yarn is very poor, and when it is used in the weaving process, due to abrasion of the yarn, the fibers of the yarn comes out and end breakage happens on the loom. Guys, now I tell you about objectives of Siro spinning process. Guys, as I told you, the main objective of Siro spinning mechanism or Siro spinning system or Siro spinning process is to achieve a weavable worsted yarn by capturing strand twist during twist insertion on the ring frame machine. When the yarn comes out of front roller, both strand capture twist and the twist insertion system of the ring frame insert the twist to the both ends there. To reduce the cost of production in the spinning stage, up to half by increasing production per spindle by roughly 2 times. Guys, as I told you, 2 rovings are fed in Siro spinning system, and the production of the spindle gets doubled, so that the spinning cost in Siro spinning system gets reduced by half. To eliminate the yarn doubling process cost, as I told you, the double folded twisted yarn is achieved after ring spinning frame at which the Siro spinning mechanism is mounted, so that the doubling cost or yarn doubling process cost is eliminated there. Guys, now I tell you what is Siro spun yarn. Siro spun yarn is a virtual two-fold yarn in which the 2 components are untwisted strands rather than twisted single yarn. The Siro spun yarn has 2-ply yarn, and both plies are untwisted, but when the yarn comes out of the front roller, the twist insertion system insert the twist in the both plies, and double ply twisted yarn results. It builds on the concept of self twist spinning up to some extent. In self twist spinning, 2 drafted strand have cyclic false twist inserted by a set of oscillating rollers. One strand is made to follow a longer path so that when the two strands are brought together, their twist is out of phase. In trying to untwist, the two strands twist about each other, capturing oscillating twist in each strand. Production rate 200 meters per minute is possible and the yarns could be used for knitting. However, to be weavable, the yarn had to undergo a real twisting in a separate twisting step, ring doubling or 2 for 1 twisting process as with normal two-fold yarn production. The initial steps were taken at CSIRO in the mid 1970 by Plate and Lapis in 1980. Two strands were fed side by side through the drafting system. These strands were passed through a further pair of rollers after leaving the front rollers. This pair of rollers was intermittently blocked the twist from propagating up to the nip line. The two strands were brought together by the twist to form a large long spinning triangle. The twist blocking rollers caused the twist running into the two strand arms to increase and decrease. This intermittent twist becomes trapped in the yarn below the convergence point, which is held fixed by a guide as alternating twist of the strand relative to the rotating point of contact, that is the mean folding twist. The alternating twist enables surface fibers to be trapped between the two strands. Plate and Lapis in 1980 showed that the amount of trapping is proportional only to the alternating strand twist and is independent of the two-fold twist. An alternative method by Lapis in 1973 achieved a similar result by vertically oscillating the convergence guide without the twist blocking rollers. Even though twist is observed in the strand during Siro spun yarn, if it is constant, then none of it is trapped in the yarn. The real or net twist cannot be introduced, only alternating twist. Guys, now I tell you about yarn model of plate and lapis for real two-fold and virtual two-fold yarn. I have shown a picture below in which you can see the yarn model of two-fold virtual twisted yarn and real twisted yarn. This is illustrated in the model of below figure following plate and lapis 1982, in which the two singles strands are represented by long rubber cylinder. In picture A, two long rubber cylinders has been shown there. One of the untwisted cylinder has a black line along its length in figure A representing a surface fiber. If real twist is inserted, then the surface fiber traces a helical path as shown in the figure B. Every turn of single twist leads to a trapping point of the fibers after two folding in figure C. If the strand twist remains constant, then there is no real alternating twist of strand relative to each other. A fiber that starts on the surface always remains on the surface as shown in the figure D. This is the basic reason why ordinary single yarn or Siro spun yarn at small strand spacing are not weavable. In such yarns, there is a small amount of fibers migration due to varying spinning tensions and movement of the delivery positions of fibers, but overall many surface fibers are poorly trapped and will be easily rubbed up along the yarn during weaving. Constant strand twist above the convergence point just leads to fibers maintaining their relative positions in the two strand yarn. Removal of the two-fold twist will be leave to untwisted strand. When two strands are held at both ends, insertion of real twist is not possible and only varying twist can be enabled trapping. As I discussed, you can see in the given picture, this is a fiber strand as shown in picture B. You can see here twist has been inserted, and this is a picture C. Here two yarns are twisted together. Now guys, I tell you about schematic diagram of two-fold Siro spinning system with breakout device. Actually, Siro spinning system or Siro spinning mechanism is a special device which is mounted on our ring frame machine. Guys, when we mount a Siro spinning mechanism on our ring frame machine, some changes are made in our ring frame machine. The changes required to produce a double fold twisted yarn in Siro spinning system are given below. The first change, a double roving creel for twice the number of roving packages. It means in our ring frame, double roving creel is mounted or arranged in place of one roving creel. It means we can put or place two roving package on our ring frame machine where our Siro spinning mechanism has been mounted. Next is a double set of roving guides. As I told you, we use two rovings in place of one, so that there is a need of double set of roving guide. Third is a wider middle apron, roller races, modified front zone, condenser if used. Guys, in case of Siro spinning system, our middle apron should be wider, or the width of middle apron should be more than normal ring frame machine. Front zone is modified and condensers are mounted. The breakout device is next part of our Siro spinning system. The yarn count per spindle is doubled. It means if you are producing 2 by 40 count yarn, or in normal ring frame machine you will produce 40 single yarn, then you will go through doubling and twisting, then you will get 2 by 40 yarn. But in Siro spinning you can achieve 2 by 40 on our ring spinning frame with Siro spinning system, and our count will be reduced. If you are producing 240, then our resultant count will be 20. In this way, our production will be just double per spindle. The recommendation is still to have the same total number of fibers in the yarn cross section as the equivalent to fold yarn. As per example, you can see for wool at least 2 by 35, it means 30 fiber will be there in each ply, and in Siro spun yarn of 2 folded yarn there will be 70 fibers, given the accepted spinning limit of 35 fibers in the yarn. This twist level and number of fibers are needed to ensure good spinning performance by avoiding drafting of the strand arms. Studies Platt and Feehan in 1983 and Platt in 1983 have shown that the optimum strand spacing is a balance between improved abrasion properties and poor evenness and spinning performance. It was found that yarn abrasion resistance increases linearly with strand spacing. Hairiness drops rapidly at first, then slowly, and yarn evenness, tenacity, and elongation improve at first, then plateau and later decreases. The standard strand spacing of 14 mm has been adopted for worsted spinning as per a study of plate in 1983. Friends, we have shown a schematic diagram of Siro spinning system. I have shown there the changes made to mount a Siro spinning mechanism or Siro spinning system on our existing ring frame machine. As I told you earlier, two rovings are used in place of one so that there should be two roving holder, yeah, roving creels. There should be two roving guide as well. You can see here these are roving packages here. Here are roving packages, and these are rovings, and these are roving guides. So two rovings are used, and two roving guides are used to prevent the mix-up of two rovings there. Guys, next is back roller. This is back roller of our ring frame drafting system. Then middle roving guide. After back roller, a middle roving guides are mounted. These guides prevents mix-up of two rovings during drafting of our fibers. So this is middle roving guide. Now this is middle roller wide races apron. Guys, as I told you, the middle roller apron is kept wider width. Why it is kept wider width? The reason behind this concept is the use of two roving. If our middle roller apron has not sufficient width, there are always the chances of mix-up between two rovings. Guys, after middle roller, front zone condenser is mounted. This is our front zone condenser. As the drafting of two different rovings take place, the width of the fiber strand or tapes are increased, and these drafted roving when passes through front zone condensers, the width of the ribbon or fiber ribbons are reduced, and finally you can see the roving passes through front rollers. This is our front roller. This is first drafted strand fiber ribbon. This is second fiber ribbon, and after this point the both rovings comes out here, and this is breakout device. Here this breakout device brought together both drafted strand and the ring frame twist insertion system or ring and traveler. Insert the twist into the yarn, and finally our two-fold virtual twisted yarn is achieved. Guys, now I tell you about properties of Siro spun yarn. Siro spun yarn have higher tenacity and elongation. Siro spun yarn has lower hairiness. On average, Siro spun yarn have marginally poorer evenness, possibly due to correlation between the drafting of strand through the same drafting zone and due to occasional strand arm drafting. Zero spun yarn are not quite as abrasion resistant as the equivalent to fold and more likely to fail on the loom under extreme conditions such as in the selvages. Guys, if you know, on the loom the number of ants per inch in the selvage gets double of the number of ants in the body fabric. When the number of threads per inch in the selvage gets doubled, they comes they come closer to each other, and when the shedding motion in the loom during weaving takes place, these thread rubs to each other and the fibers comes out of the yarn and yarn breakage happen there. Zero spun yarns have more thin places than two-fold yarn produced from the same material and observed that extreme thin places are associated with higher spinning tension. It is much better to think of zero spun as a single yarn with improved binding of the surface fiber. As singles, zero spun yarns are linear than the equivalent two-fold yarns. Guys, now I tell you about disadvantages of zero spun yarn. One drawback is the winding and clearing are carried out on the final yarn rather than single. If we produce spun yarn on the ring frame yarn with ordinary system, then single yarn is produced. After that, the winding of the yarn is carried out on winding machine, that may be mechanical winding machine or that may be auto corner as well, where the yarn folds are cleared during winding machine in single yarn stage, but in case of zero spun yarn, the irregularities or yarn folds are cleared after final yarn. The joints or splices must survive weaving unaided by a good unspliced yarn. The performance of splices in weaving is so critical that Siro spun could not gain wide commercial adoption until improved wool splicing, the thermo splicer, was available. This is a potential cause of more visible streaknesses in plain weave piece dyed fabric where the uniform color and simple pattern provide the least heading of the yarn irregularity that is always present. It means if we make a fabric with zero spun yarn and we dyed the fabric in piece form, uh, then after dyeing, streaks are appeared in the fabric highly. Even we use simple patterns, the yarn irregularities cannot be hide with the help of color pattern. In this way, guys, I discussed zero spinning system with you. I told you the concept of zero spinning system. I also told you advantages and disadvantages of zero spinning system. Guys, please comment. Guys, I request you, please subscribe my channel and push bell icon button as well to receive the notification of my upcoming videos. Till then, goodbye.